Alright. Howdy, everybody. It's Monday, time for some magic, and we're going to be jumping into some more Alchemy today. I thought that Alchemy only lasted a week, but this doesn't have, like, the disappearing in, like, 15 hours sitting around there. I know on the, looking at the, like, weekly arena announcements and calendar, apparently, like, according to that calendar, Alchemy isn't even going today, so I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if it was moved back earlier a week or if it exists for 2 weeks. We'll find out that next week. But yeah, I hope you're having a good one. This week, we're gonna go ahead and see about more fun prizes to play with. Alright, so we're looking at this one here. Yeah. Actually, if I take a look at the mastery, that says 4 weeks. Yeah, 28 days. Okay. Thinking about time frame on how long Strixhaven sticks around. We'll be having, I guess, apparently 2 full set releases in the next month. Though one is the reskin of an existing one, so that's mostly me being cheeky. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump on in. Hey, Bob, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. CC Crabble, perhaps. The, Prismari stuff within the Alchemy cards has some of the most powerful, pieces that interest me. Speed Dog is here. Sabotendi continues to travel with us. Always fun to have our friend hanging along. The crows. I would love to have the crows here. That'd be fun. Whew. I think Sabotendi would enjoy if we got to take a small excursion out to Thunder Junction. Get to meet that freaking cactus out there. Basically the barrel tender out there. Alright, so let's see what we get to start with. Again, Alchemy cards are going to be getting the fast pass. We'll see how they end up looking, what sort of things stand out. The Alchemy card in here is the Spade. I don't think it wins, though, over the Critique. This is a card that also has some things that can set some real power. It would be really fun if we could have the flashback, but instant speed on this is one of the most killer pieces. The draw is very nice, and we've seen it do a lot of killing. The ability to be an X spell has a lot of pieces, even within Alchemy, that are going to work really nicely. So we'll see how things pair out with that. I've talked about, like, just sort of general limited strategy where, like, picking your 2 color cards early is a little difficult to work with because it commits you a little more. But this is a card that is extremely strong to splash. If we pick up Traumatic Critique and we splash this in a Quandrix deck, we're going to feel great. But if we're also just playing Prismar, we'll also feel great. Howdy. Congrats on the additional game. Always love to hear it. Love to see it. What do we got here? Muse, Seeker, Scintillating Encore. This card's wild, by the way. This card, like, is a hybrid 1-mana trick, which makes it basically free for everyone to be able to use at all times forever. Which just incredibly powerful. And then, like, the rebuy on things. The blue in here actually doesn't speak to me too much. Muse Seeker's okay, Procrastinate's okay, Spell Pierce, and like the Aviator's not as great. Rebel Rouser is something we go with if we want to stick in color, but I actually think that Sloth is an incredibly powerful piece. This 4/4, like, and as I talked about, playing Prismari or playing Quandrix, we can still easily fit this in, and I kind of would like to fit in a little chunk of 3-color so that we can best use more Alchemy cards. Obviously, this fits into a few different decks we're not going to be playing, so this is a little bit of a stretch, but it's a stretch I'm absolutely willing to make with our good plan. Oh, well, okay. We saw the power of this out of an opponent. Splatter Technique is a Wrath of very high caliber. 4 damage is enough to kill most everything other than, like, the most high level threats. We're missing the Alchemy card out of here, but we still got a couple of these. It is a high commitment, but I think that's a fine place to be. It works well with the Pest Brood if we end up in the 3 colors. I'm going to try and see if we can find some fixing along that to make things work better. But I want to sit in the little teamer seat here. And Splatter Technique makes me feel good about that position. This is also a nice card with something like the Tackler, because the Tackler is a 4/3 and gets 2 counters on a 5-drop spell, which would make it live through the Splatter Technique. So, good place to be. Moving along. Honor the Past is our Alchemy card here. This one's such a cool design, by the way. This is a reanimate that picks up a sizable creature, but not big enough to pick up, like, Atraxa. I would actually figure that Atraxa is probably why this has a limit. But it picks it up as not a creature. Ogniwi, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. I guess I'm going to pick on the sweepers. Heated Argument and Artistic Process are close enough that I'd rather pick Artistic Process. But yeah, like, you can pick up a creature and, like, you know, obviously if you pick up Sphere Mascot, it doesn't do anything. But you get the you know, the come-in text. Okay. I want to find the creatures that support this deck. I know we passed a couple of Muse Seekers. I'm okay with it. Okay, alright. Shared Roots as well? Am I willing to pick up... I know Thunderdrum Soloist is pretty good. This thing, like, gets a lot of free damage going on. How much of the green do I want to commit to here? Do I want to try and make this function as a 3-color deck? Like, these are some pretty hefty color requirements. Means I have to pick some fixing a little more highly. I think that flexibility is more interesting that way. I think that leads us to at least a more interesting draft. Soloist is fine, though. This is a good card. Let's go ahead and try to pick up this fixing. Try to pick up another piece here. We can just be really spell heavy. Proctor's Gaze is expensive, but again, the fixing here, especially with the double red, double blue, is going to be super nice to be able to make sure we can get to Splatter Technique. We can pay for our X spells. Potioner's Trove would also be really nice if this wasn't here. I would probably pick that up, followed by the Run Behind. Chelonian Tackle, which is not the Chthonian Tackle, is a strong card, but 3 mana is more than you usually pay for that effect these days. You know, we have a one-sided bite for 2, for instance. Okay, Proctor's Gaze. Quandrix Charm, that's a really nice one to have. This thing actually does a lot. The Destroy Target Enchantment is going to be a rare line of text, but we've seen every once in a great while where stuff like that will find its targets. The Mana Leak on here also is nice to have because counterspells are pretty lax in this format. And then the base power and toughness on there specifically works really well with fractals and increment. Sleight Hand also very pickable, but like I feel like this is a little more flexible. Oh, well, I was gonna... Wow. Oh. Hello? Okay. So, multiple pieces of fixing, one of the most powerful filter tools we've had in, recent history. Rubble Rouser, Prismari Charm, which also does a lot here. The double burn is really nice for fixing, bug fixing, not fixing, as well as the bounce on here that gets a lot done. And a couple of really hefty, fixing pieces, but I'm gonna pick. Stock Up is powerful enough for me to pick over the rest here. Living History, I don't feel like we're gonna have enough for this, though the actual size might matter, because, like, I don't... We are light on low drops right now. We're light on creatures, just entirely. I'll pick the Title Mage. I want one copy of that to feel fine. Okay, Rubble Rouser. We're not going to be in Lorehold to make as much use of this. I guess if I had picked the previously extant friend, we would have been a lot better, but... Okay. Vanishing Betrayal, I like. Tackle. Okay. And we get a Fractal Mascot. Okay. What is this? Ursine Guide. 3 mana, 3/3. Look at all those tiny little outlet. Oh, the little friends. This creature enters prepared. Whenever you cast a spell that isn't from your starting deck, conjure a bear cub. This becomes prepared. Oh. And then, like, the prepped spell on there is the prepped spell for... Then it repreps. I see. Damn, we also have Sky Coach, another Sloth, first year, Tome Blast. Like, Tomba's real good, but this is danger. Would be nice if we had more things to be able to fire it like the Sky Coach, but I'm gonna pick the guide because again, Alchemy cards get the ooh yeah. So Phoenix of Iteration. Here's a great reason to be in this 3-color nonsense pile. Phoenix of Iteration is a 2/1 flyer for 2. Great, cool, fun place to be. Whenever you cast an insert sorcery, it gets +1/+1. If 5 was spent on it, you can exile the Phoenix. Why would you do that? Then return it tapped under its owner's control. Weird. This ability triggers while it's in the grave. So, if this dies, any 5-cost spell both, grows it and then picks it back up. Whether that be the critique, the technique, the process, anything else we pick up, perhaps the guide. Minor Matters, a draw X. Again, the Potioner's Trove. There's also the fixing piece here, but big Alchemy card is going to win the tie there. However, in the 3 colors, we're going to want to pick up our... I don't think we're a deck for this. Like, this is very much a teamer card, not us. 5 cost on it means that it would trigger our... for each 4-power creature. Now, we could work with that. I just don't think we're not, like, wide enough. Actually, honest to goodness, I feel like the Witherbloom is the deck that wants this more, right? Pest Generation, Life Gain Likers, big creatures. Yeah. I'm gonna go Terramorphic. I've mentioned, and we see the spade back. Fixing is going to be important to make this deck function, so we got to make sure we go heavier on that. No Alchemy card in here. We got Tam. Tam plays into a more longer late game scenario. Also gives us a spell for the Ursine Guide to keep doing. That's probably fine. Prismari Charm is also really good. This is, as we've said, this is a very small interactive element. Is that better? I want something that gives us a little more long-term value. The Prismari Charm would be like replacing Banishing Betrayal. We'll try Tam. That might be slightly incorrect. Here's a fine time for us to pick up the Thunderdrum Soloist, which can work well with some of our expensive spells to give us a little bit more reach. Scrollsmith would be like, if we were in like wild 4+ color land, we'd be able to make a better use of that. But this gives me something to play early that I don't feel bad about. Paradox Gardens probably wins this. Let's check our... Whenever you conjure one or more cards, it becomes prepped, and then the prep is... This, I've mentioned this one we saw before. It's kind of like that Leech Liker. That's like whenever you gain life for the first time in a turn, you get a Bolt Wave. Potioner's Trove better. So the trick here is that I think you're right, in that the Trove's better, but right now we are pretty heavy on playables in the main deck, which means I want to value the lands a little higher, because we're going to be cutting down. I think we're going to end up with a Trove by the end, but I want to try to, like, overload us if we can pick more lands, especially because there's one extra pick in each of these packs. Nothing terribly in this one I'm interested in, like... These are all fine. Like, Thornfist is incredibly powerful if we're doing Witherbloom, but we're not. Transcendent Archaic... 2 or 3, run behind 2. I'm gonna pick this up in case we see more things that are, like, want the targeting protection. Artisan. I like Painter, because Painter gets us something early and late. Okay, we're run rotation here. Gets us a Sloth back. That's nice. I think this card's strong. I think it gets us board presence. That's very helpful to have. Another Paradox Gardens. Feels good if we can get some of the blue-red. Okay, I'll take the Revelation. I don't know that I'm playing it, but we'll definitely take it. Page, maybe. But yeah, we want to find our blue-red cliffside land to get a little bit more of the fixing pieces in here. And I would like to find, if we can... Huh. I think one copy of Embrace... I passed this earlier and I kind of wanted to have it run behind. That's actually really good. Capstone! Okay, so we have a lot of choices here. Let's talk about them. Okay, Capstone. We know Capstone. We've played Capstone. Capstone's wild. We got the land we wanted. Great. We got a fetch. Perfect. Kill spell. Fine. Our bear. Actually very good, especially with our guide. Would love to have. Vibrant Outburst is like an Incinerate/Searing Spear with extra text. Sundering Archaic, even for 3, is also very good. What a nice pack to have. I don't think I can pass up on the Capstone. I think that card just proves to be way too good. But I think number 2 would be... Oh, and I didn't even mention Jadzi here. God dang. Pensive Professor, that's really nice. Ooh, okay. Applied Geometry is really cool. This makes a copy of any non-aura permanent that is a 6/6, like, on top. Like, you know, it has 6 counters. That non-aura clause in here, I think, means nothing. I don't know if there's any Alchemy auras, but there weren't any in the regular world. Tomba. Hydro Channeler is also pretty nice. Flow State's pretty nice. We already have a Title Mage, and Pensive Professor also, like, can get out of hand pretty quick. But this, like, gets big fast, too, which is really nice. Steal the Show. Ooh, the Summit Fest Closing Ceremony. So this is a spell that gets bigger as we cast big spells. It makes a ton of mana. I don't know if that's good enough for what we're actually doing. I might actually just pick this Terramorphic to try and fix up the mana a little bit better. I'd love to get a bear here, too. Steal the Show is also, like, fine. Sloth 3 is really powerful. Maybe we can table that. We saw a table last time. Maybe we're that lucky. Sorry, Summit Fest. I need a little bit more fixing to make the red playable in here. Stock Up 2, the sequel to Stock Up? Hoofa. And the... Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling fine with that. Stock Up 2, the sequel to Stock Up, can keep us moving. Yeah? Get him! There's not a person who's gonna be ready for a daze. I don't... Yeah, I'll grab this. The like, Orissa and Brush Off are also good here. But maybe we can get somebody with... Okay, I don't actually care about Flusterstorm here. This one is the anti-storm card. Newt. Aggression. Growth Curve is funny with, like, some of the fractals. It's not really a great card, though. Sorcery really does a lot of, like, drops its stock a lot. This is not a pack that... Oh, Elite Interceptor's got... Counterspells rank balance. It sucks to get hit by the Manatide. Daze. Yeah, like, Daze is just... It's gonna get you. Alright, last new card. Last new card, we get Prismari? Sure. I think a Prismari Charm is our final new card. Visionary's Dance wouldn't be bad either. Shopkeeper's Bane is cool, but Prismari Charm is a fine place to be. And here we are with getting 1, 2, 3, 4 of the main cards we were looking at back in this pack. I wish we could pick more. I'm going to pick up the Summit here because, as I've said, I feel like we have a lot of power already in the deck, and I want to be able to make... I know that we're having a lot of tapped lands in here, but we need to be able to cast these spells. I don't know if we're flow state. I'll have to, like, check the numbers, but we might be. Stock Up plus Charms. I like the Pigment Wrangler. These are actually all pretty nice. I don't think Dual Tactics is making it in here. We're a little light on real win conditions, but we do have the Critique. So... And as we've seen, Artistic Process is very good at getting... we have the Ursine Guide at the end of the day. I do wish we had more first-year bears, or any first-year bears. I think that would really do an improvement on the deck. Alright. Let's get the power in here first. We got the stock-ups. We got... I'm going to take the Soloist and the Rubble Rouser. We'll take the Pigment Wrangler and the Capstone. Pick the Newt and the Shared... The Guide, the Phoenix, Splatter Technique, Applied Geometry, Proctor's Gaze, Tam, Embrace, put all these lands in here. I don't actually think I want a Tide Mage. And then, like, Daze, yes. Run Behind, yes. Creature Count, no. Games just sort of win themselves. Maybe. We'll see. I like the Ursine Guide. I like the S. Colors. It's higher on red, which is lower, but that's because red has less of the fixing lands. So it's actually even red, even blue. 6, 6, 6. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Phoenix Iteration is our win con at the end of the day. It'll keep coming back from Artistic Process and Splatter and Paradox and Dramatic and Capstone, so. Let's make it happen. I'm playing the Daze. We're gonna get somebody with the Daze. We've got some sweepers. We've got a decent few. The sweepers are actually our biggest removal spells. Like, thinking about it. Northeaster 3, 4, 5. Born in the Year. Eight sources of every color. I like the Pest Brood. I'm gonna keep it on the back of the sloths. I know that we're off blue. Every color is even. 8 sources of each of them. Plus green has shared roots as a 9th source. We're Gruul, didn't you know? Not Gruul. Not Gruul. Plains or swamp? Okay, island. Hey! Alright. Everything's better now. So let's go ahead and play out our sloth. Next turn we get to play out our sloth with a counterspell up, and then we're off to the races. Alright, we're off to the races. Our opponent missed a land drop and hasn't played a spell. That's fine. I'm just gonna counter what you play off that, and then you're dead. Like, they're gonna try and play something 4 or 5, we'll counter it, and then the game ends. Oh, no. Oh, no! Well... Oh, I'm so sorry. Well... You do have to take action in order to win a game of Magic. This was the greed pile that just, like, every card in this hand is 4+, right? We weren't even like the fast aggro. Our first play was on turn 3. Sloth is a win condition. It's a great card. But yeah, the idea behind not counterspelling the land search is that if they would have drawn a 4th land, played it, and then played the exile spell, they're back in the game. I'd rather counter the spell that is the action. When they're dead in 1. Okay. Love to have counterspell. Wish I had that 3rd sloth. I know we didn't. Yeah, I'm in. This looks sweet. How do I want to do this? Newt? Newt. Because, like, Newt can attack if they don't make a play on 2 here. I want to get the red for this capstone. We have the 2nd green from the Newt for the guide, and the guide can just, like, start making bears forever. So that's really nice. Stock up also keeps us gas. Either the lands we need for improvisation or the real spells. Alright. Kill spell on the Newt? Okay. Let's go shared roots. Okay. On the one hand, we could have played Mountain to avoid that. On the other, I wasn't playing the Mountain on this turn anyway, so I'm okay with that. That means, like, our improvisational capstone isn't getting hit, which is fine by me. Okay, going and grabbing another red off this, I think. They have something. Kill spell on the newt? Okay. Tap out for a kill spell on the guide? Oh! Okay. That's powerful. Damn. 3 damage sweeper. Okay, let's go ahead and... Well... These are basically never coming back. Someday, I'll have to check it out after we're no longer in a game here, I suppose. Are they thinking about countering my stock up? At least I've got days to, like, stop this, unless they have a... We couldn't play around a second spell pierce. They're thinking on this. I want to resolve the capstone pretty bad. Stock up number 2 and... the land? Yeah. Okay. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm fine. No, thank you. Okay. Stock up number 2, get a little bit of damage in. Let's get... Sloth and... Charm? Sloth and Wrangler? Just get threats? I'll take threats. Wrangler lets us copy spells. Obviously, like, copying the capstone's a little outrageous, but... Oh, I suppose the bounce would have been pretty good there. We have a number of bounce effects, and we're going to Terramorphic our deck back, so I'm not too worried about that. Unearth is 1 turn. It'll go away at the end step, so we can't, like, bring this back as a Death Touch blocker. They're surveilling. 3 cards in hand. Ooh, Applied Geometry. Okay. Did you keep them both on top? Terrifying. Okay. So obviously, if I can double up on Geometry, I will. If they kept cards on top, it's not unlikely for them to have a kill spell here. Geometry on a land is still fun. Alright, okay. Well, I understand. At 2. That would have been a really funny place to have the days too, but... Alright, I can double block this, but I don't want to because I'd rather have the double Pigment Wrangler here. So check out our... Check this out, actually! Hold on, this is gonna be... Yeah... Can I kill you with Artistic Process here? Hold on, just double checking. 14 attack for... Nah, okay. Okay. Let's get on in. So they have their own capstone, obviously. I think I'm killing them next turn with Artistic Processes copying. So let's see how good their flip is. Planar Engineering. That's strong, but it cuts them off of 2 lands for the turn if they cast that. That'll bring them down to 5 mana instead of 7. Okay. And they're going to pass because they need all that mana. Yep. Could they have floated too? Hold on, when's epic timing? Beginning of your first main phase. They could have floated too, I suppose. They just have the problem of, like, they have infinite, you know, they have all the value in the world, but, I don't know, I have 16 power of flyers? Okay, land. 2 cards left. Alright, let's go ahead and copy up. Oh my god, we're going for counter-target spell, but make a random 5. Alright. So I don't have the red to do this again. We need double red for this. Alright, random 5 is... Put a 1/1 counter on each creature that convoked it. Well... I'm gonna go ahead and deal 6 damage to the creature with flying. You know, I have to give it to our opponent who is playing our Dark Mirror, right? Like, what a cool opponent. They've got the expansive reapplication. They have this cool sweeper. They've got, like, you know, the value engines. I suppose if I just make 3 copies of the Wrangler, we just get to wrangle him. They played well on that. I guess like, nobody expects the days, much like nobody expects the 2-mana sweeper. That 2-mana sweeper, incredible card, by the way. Like, Unearth 5 is so expensive, we would very rarely be... Yeah, the Momir, luckily for us, like, the amount of high roll they would have needed to not die there is unreal because they were going to 8 and we had, you know, 3 flying attackers, 2 of which are lethal, and a removal spell. So even if they had, like, a flying blocker, we kill it and we attack for lethal. Like, they need outrageous power off that. Even a Baneslayer dies to our remove. You know, Baneslayer we can't kill with 6 damage. Okay, I'm a little worried about the speed of this, but I am really like the power of this. If our opponent just comes out swinging, we might be in an awkward place. We'll see. Please don't open up Spirit Halloween on me. Okay, that's Value Town, not Spirit Halloween. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and not play the island to disguise the critique. I don't want to like let them know we have a spell here. I'm not gonna be casting this for 2 at their end, for 0 at their end step. Okay. That filter, they have a lot of filter going on here. Docent. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Ursine Guide. Since I could stock it. I have to discard if I stock up here. So I don't want to stock. I want to stock up for lands, but I might have to do it next turn. This probably just gets hit by Molten Note or some such. But if it doesn't, it does represent a longer threat. You know, with the power of the Ranger's Merit. Also, with the power of Tam here. Okay, Wilt for full. That's fine. Okay, what do I want? Do I just want to stock up here? Yeah. I was hoping for, like, a tapped land, but this will be okay. Wrangler looks nice. You know, Sloth is gonna be nice. Be funny. That bear is the removal magnet, right? Like, you know, we have a lot of those kind of cards. Tam and Pigment Wrangler are also removal magnets, right? They're asking us, like, hey, we need, like, please kill us or else terrible things are about to happen. So, you control. Howling Historian, okay. Israel, land and grave. Means they have land. Maybe another 3? Okay. How do we want to go about this? I'm a Pigment Wrangle. I know that's a removal magnet, but like that should still be right now with a 4 toughness a good amount of their mana out of them, and then next turn, like, we can just go ahead and, like, play Sloth, kind of build from there. But if this doesn't get hit, we double up, apply Geometry on it, and then Hell opens up, right? If Hell opens up and we have 3 Wranglers, then, you know. So, basically, I'm asking if they have it, because I don't want to give them time, because they have that Pursue the Past. Okay. We're going fast here. Okay, and then there's the Pursue the Past. So they don't have it, they're just attacking over me. Okay. No blocks, they can tap for mana for just hitting, but that's okay. I can't attack here, don't try it. They can pump the Owlin Historian. Alright. Let's get this pellet and apply some geometry. Hello! Howdy. I'm asking questions now. Our follow-up, we don't have triple red to be able to double artistic process, but we could critique doubled for 6. I also could just play out like Sloth Soloist, and I have 2 6/6 flyers, right? Like, this is just its own power. I don't need additional power. You're off-white now. I think I want this off the table. I think. They'll trade with one of the 6/6s that are active. We'll always need more power. Okay. Okay. You didn't... Woo! Okay. God damn. We could draw 1,000,000 cards. I don't hate drawing 1,000,000 cards. That would get us like 3 lands. Yeah, I kind of think drawing 1,000,000 cards is good. Contentious, I know. Okay, and we have the discard on the Phoenix. Is that the one that has a spell? Okay. Okay, ping us. Ping it! Ping it! Okay. So we've got 8 mana, maybe 9 next turn. I attacked with the one that had the prepped in case they like try to kill a blocker and get in. I also didn't attack with both because I feel like if we're winning, it's going to be in 2 turns and with our like splatter technique wrathing the board. And I want to conserve a little bit of life total just in case of some sort of trick here. That's why I attacked with the one that was prepped. So they'll hit us down to 7. And we get to, like, sweep. Ooh. Okay. They hit us to 4. That's terrifying. Okay. I don't like that. Okay. Splatter technique in our own rabble rouser? So I could attack for 6, but again, at this life total, I need to play slightly defensively. Specifically, Lorehold showing up is a card I'm thinking about, but like anything like that is my biggest worry. If we get these sloths, we're okay, and I think we've just got enough like gas that I don't care about the capstone right now. We especially have like a fireball that we can double up on to kill our opponent right now, like next turn. If I attack for 6 plus fireball for 6 doubled, that is their life total. So if they can't deal with the 6/6, we can just walk through. They have a life gain piece in their grave. That puts them at 20, which means we would need an untapped land to better tackle artist. Okay. So they're at 20. If I draw an untapped land, they're dead? Tapped land is not it. Okay. Because we can go 8, 9, 8, double, 6, 1 damage from the Rubble Rouser. Okay. So that means we just want to play it. Again, I want to play it safe. I realize it's Phoenix comes back tapped. It also doesn't have haste. Okay. From here, I'm willing to swing with the Sloth. If they have Lorehold, Monstrous Rage? Maybe I needed to play more defense. Maybe I didn't need to swing here. That actually might have been too much. I know that I'm, like, playing with... They didn't crack the Terramorphic. Heated Argument. That gets rid of my double up. Puts me on 2. We have a Fireball. So... Poof. Okay. Yep. They were playing how they needed to win this. Like, you know, Heated Argument gets us more damage in. They might have actually been, like, not cracking this Terramorphic even for that. But, like, the fact that they use this Monstrous Rage that aggressively tells me that they know what their win conditions were. The not pumping the Owlkin there may have just been that they didn't realize either that they wanted the mana, like, in there or changed it, or they just didn't realize that they had the pump to kill one of the 6s. Or the 4. If they killed one of the 6s instead of the 4, we don't have our second double up, we still have our first. Things end up similar. They definitely have the resources to eat, because they still have the wilt to be able to eat, and, like, the lands that they were filtering. Okay, this is fine. We'll go grab red immediately, play this on 2, and kind of get ready with these to get us time. Okay. I'm not gonna. I'm still not gonna. It's not worth cutting off our color and dumping a mana behind for that specific days. It's a shame, but it is correct to not pull the trigger on that just for this 2/2, even how powerful it is. Aziz's does have some heat. Like, okay, that's, well, sucks to be in tapped land pass territory. Not happy about that position. But, like, we can Proctor's Gaze for the island. Spirit Halloween is open, and they can now double up on spells if they so want. Okay. We're just gonna play this and pass, leave up Proctor's Gaze. I could play the Sloth, but I think I want to be able to play this. There's no world where they would expect the counter spell that would happen here, right? Like if they play a 4-drop. Okay, well. Better that than the Sloth right now. Okay, let's railway land. I'm gonna bounce the Strife Knight. And we're gonna go grab a blue so that I can play the days. I know that leaves us off double red on a couple draws that would be a little tenuous here. But I really think that the Sloth is the card we need to resolve, so. Blood Age Muster. They don't have anything to remove from the grave right now. Okay. What's the There's Strife Knight. We can't daze that. It's okay, though. They can filter for draw? Steal the Show, which only was doing 1 damage. Yep. It's fine. Okay. What's the lines here, then? Shared Roots? Leave up... Shared Roots, leave up Run Behind? Do I want to play out the Newt instead? Do I want to play Stock Up? Ooh. We're gonna try this. So if they're just gonna keep Strife Knighting again, at some point they're gonna get like a real thing off the Blood 8. Oh my god. Okay. Yoink. They could have copied it, like, for free, too. There were multiple, like, failure points there they didn't need to have. Like, if they tap them all, Molten Node untaps your team, so it's fine if it's copied. They only needed 4 damage, not X equals 4. They will not make this mistake again in this limited format. Alright, let's get Capstone going. Hopefully we can just, like, raft the board with this. Prismari Charm and Critique. I'm gonna bounce your Strife Knight? Copying it would let them untap this. What? No, it would basically do. It would be style. That's all. So you're right. It would untap because it untaps the team, then taps the team, then untaps the team. Okay. All right. I want replaying this 3/3 followed by something that's like a second creature that sets up the grave a little more. Okay, that's just a second creature. Land number 7. And here we go. Yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna decline this turn. We only have 14 cards in deck. I don't want to do that very often. All right. No, thank you. I'm good. The Bears have landed. They have to tap out for Molten Node killing the guide, right? Like, okay, we're gold. We finally got to Bears, and it only took us playing the Bears on our turn for free. I don't know if there's anything more terrifying than playing this Capstone and then declining the turn after, because I didn't want to play these into the board before I wrathed. Sorry about your Blood Age. They were just missing the enablers. No docent or like flashback spells. The days also. You get hit by that one time. Exactly one. I was holding up single blue, so Spell Pierce wasn't a viable option, which would be a reason why you might not want to go for the full 6. And, like, Giant Growth beats it on either side. I'm in. Okay. This has got it. Expanse for the Rouser. Terramorphic, go and grab a green source, and we're on off to the races on everything. Proctor's Gaze plus Rubble Rouser gets us up to 7 mana very quickly, in fact. This is for, yeah, this is actually a really good, like, we have our decent amounts of ramp going. Okay, alright, and our opponent's coming out the gates. I'm gonna Rubble Rouse because the 1-4 beats the 1-3, or 3-1. We're gonna go ahead and swap out, honest to goodness, the Shared Roots because I want to draw land. Yeah, I would rather have the land to play than have to play the Shared Roots because we're you know, land drops here. Okay. Kill spell on Rubble Rouser's like a real possibility here. I'm not gonna block if that comes in. I'll just take 3. I'll block next turn once we have the mana up, but not right now. Yeah, because there's the +2/+0 trick that we saw earlier as a possibility. I'd rather have the ability to like Proctor's Gaze to interrupt that. Rail 2. And we are a turn away from Capstone. Getting Capstone on 5 would feel so good. If I could live in that world. All we need is a tapped land this turn or an untapped land in the next 2. The tap land this turn we can just play, and then off of the 4 mana we've got it. If we draw an untapped over the next 2, we also have it. Our deck has 3 more tapped lands. We've got the 1 more Terramorphic and the 2 more Paradox Gardens. Milling both here. Last Gasp and Floral Invocation. You don't want Last Gasp? Interesting. Terrifying. Interesting. Alright. Let's move. I'll block your Docent now. Sure. I'll block anything that comes in now. So I think they do have the trick. Okay, so I think green is our most valuable color right now. Yes. So they get the drain for 1, they hit us for 3 off of the Ink Mage. Like, you know, they still get in, but that's okay. Anyway. Slam it. Okay. So we're taking damage this turn. We're taking pretty hefty damage this turn. The hope is they replay that Docent and maybe another 2 with it and hit us for 5. That's a pain, because that makes this, like, we go to 6. They could pick up that confidence. Okay. Just gotta play safe. Then, no, nothing. Okay, well. Declining this turn because we're going to board sweep right now. I don't get to leave up Prismari Charm here. Do they have another copy of the Saver? If they have that, I think we die, but I don't have a way of playing around that, so we just sweep the board. Stone Docent, give me another 2-drop, please. 2 toughness. Thing with 1 toughness. Confidence Cycle. Yeah. We will indeed cast our buddy now. We get the guide. We get the stock up. We're going to take some lands off that stock up. Bears? 6 cards in hand. A little terrified of that. Elite Interceptor, that's pretty good. Can you give me some more small things? Yep, tap the bear. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and cast that. Anyway. Normal. Let's go. Like, how do I want to go about this? I thought about Tam here, which would also trigger bears, but I think that's actually, like, the least resilient of the lines we have. Okay. From here, we're gonna go... Just Sloth? Just Sloth. This leaves up Run Behind, this leaves up Critique, this leaves up Quandrix's Charm. And the board right now is enough that I don't feel like we're under, like, pressure anymore. No, thank you. Nah, I'm good. Pass. No, thank you. I'll cast Improvisation Capstone. What's our lethal sequence here? This is... like... 9... We're at the bottom of the deck where we know everything from stock up. turned around way faster than I felt like it was going to. There were a couple turns in the middle on 4 and 5 where I thought we were. Is our opponent off a color? Is that what's going on here? Like, this just, it felt like they had, like, you know, it's like turn 2. Like, we played the docent, we played the ink mage, we played the poet, and then we, like, used the encore, but we passed by these, like, reasonably powerful things, even the last gasp. Yeah, why do they have it together as one? Right? Like, is there green missing here, maybe? That... Now, just trying to read the graveyard, as it were. We'll never know. Alright. Hey, Glum, yeah, we are, we're having a great time with the power of bears. We're having a great time with the power of geometry. We're having a great time with the power of... Oh god, the Burninator. Uh-oh. Trogdor. Trogdor. Alright, shared roots get us moving. We need to grab second... Red or blue? Grab the blue. Okay. Suvril! Ooh, that's a terrifyingly good card. This takes any card that was put in exile from a grave and suspends it. This doesn't do everything you might think it does, but it does do a lot of things you might think it does. We're gonna take you, and I think we're just gonna take some lands and get this hand, like, continuing to roll. The splatter technique is available to us in a turn. But yeah, anything that goes from a grave to exile, from their grave to exile. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put down a sloth. I know we're holding, a splatter technique, but I want to try to get a little more out of them. And this is enough board presence that might get them to put more into the board. So. +1/+7 double strike is not enough for Suvril to attack over. I don't need to search a color because we have red. I'll probably go search a red so that we have enough red for, like, multi-red drifting. Well. I added the well on there. It has a little well icon. It doesn't... It spends skull, so it spends a little skull, but... Blood Age Muster. Oh, this is getting a little terrifying, huh? We have an answer to that? I'm willing to let them tone blast this. Okay. I'm gonna pass here. Well. These are conjured, right? Like, they're like actual, honest to goodness, real. Okay. Honest to goodness, real. Making sure for bouncing purposes. More of a mental thing than a, like, yeah, of course. Do I splatter technique for 4 cards, then? Is that what's going on here? No. No, I don't. I'll decline the days, thanks. Alright. So we're pursuing the past to try to draw into some more white sources, because we can see we're really light on white sources. Our opponent is trying to burninate the countryside. They did find a white source. Okay. They're gonna... Okay. Scry top. Make a flyer that lets them trigger it again. That's pretty good. Okay. We're gonna cast off this. Ooh, okay. Destroy target enchantment, you say? Okay. Gas. We've got a lot of it. We've got a sweeper, but, like, it's gonna be awkward to use. $11 cards in deck. I have to worry about that. Hey, by the way, Unbreakable Remnant. 2 triggers on Spirit Mascot because cost and cast. I'm gonna decline this turn. We're just gonna go ahead and cast out the splatter. Combat first, I suppose? I'm sad to lose the Thunderdrum Soloist. I feel like that's a card that gets us this game in spades. But it's fine. 4 cards in hand for our opponent. They fixed up their mana problems. They were off white. I think they're... Ooh. I will take the land here because the lands are pretty free to, like, roll in. We get to take a look in here, though. Stock up, Phoenix, Rebel Rouser, Geometry Run Behind, Artistic Process. Okay. I don't think I want to be using my, capstone here. Terrifying. I've changed my mind. Three cards in deck. Okay. I'll decline the stock up. That one's fine. Let's just get the board down. Maybe we can just copy the Pigment Wrangler? Or copy the critique? Oh, wait. I only get to critique one. Never mind. Cards in deck. Keep that one in mind. I've got a plan. I hope you're ready for it. It's going to be really good. There's the Unbreakable Remnant. And then they get to suspend a card that they put away, so they get this in 2 rounds. I'll decline on that, thanks. Critique does damage before drawing, but that doesn't resolve that way. You can't die to damage until the entirety of the card, like, fully resolves, because it waits till state-based effects check. And if I fail to draw a card in the middle of it, I die. Like, after, I think it'll end in a draw? Is that how the zap thing works, I'm thinking? Yeah. Alright, next turn this resolves, but that's fine. There isn't a next turn here. Elite Interceptor. We're just tapping the... Yep, that's fine. There's the Remnant. So right now I've got 9, 10 mana. I can Fireball for 8. Yeah, 8. I have an idea. I don't think it'll work. Yeah, I'm thinking about run behind our own creature. Alright, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All the lands are gone. So bouncing our own creature. We can't draw an untapped land here. Okay. So they cast their Johnny's Response. Yep, that's fine. Eight, 9. Yeah, so I could have done Dramatic Critique for 9 because we had like the land plus like the Rebel Rouser plus the land plus 5 plus this 7, 8, 9 Rebel Rouser for 10, but then the Ajani's Critique kill the Rebel Rouser, and that's like Ajani's Response. So we weren't getting that lethal there. Okay. This card's wild, by the way. Really good. Okay. So we're gonna Rubble Rouse. Could I have killed them last turn if I had played the Capstone? They have a kill spell? Yeah, okay. It's not over yet. Oh no. No! That's just barely enough. I was so close. Oh. Yeah. It is the funniest way to die. Blocking doesn't matter. That's not what we're blocking. This game is the life gain is what matters there. Sorry. All I care about is that our opponent gained 1 life. That's it. This rules. I really wanted that double kill. Yeah, because like on the turn where we had they were on 11 and we had the forest that we made a copy of, Rubble Rouser, and these lands, so we could have done 9 with the burn and then ping 1, bring them to 1. But Rubble Rouser untapping would kill them. The problem is I couldn't take that action because of Johnny's response was suspended. Pests gain life on attack, the opposite of that. What a game. I did think pretty deeply about flipping run behind on one of our own creatures. Slay Queen 26, born in the year 1926. No, this looks fine. Defensive pieces, ramp pieces, sloth pieces. Sloth's so good. We just needed to get through for that 1 point. The Abrade was the Abrade was necessary from what they were playing. What a game. Excellent game. Hey, they got me on the greed. And well. Okay, they've got something they're passing on? Sorcery speed? Alright, we're gonna Rubble Rouse, we'll discard a forest. We're holding a lot of expensive things, we want to find more action. Kill spell for the Rubble? The Rubble Rabble? This is worth it? Probably, it's a good card. Oh, it gets to go to hell. Okay. Sure, see you in 6 turns, buddy. Okay. Ooh, Phoenix here, huh? It'll try to rouse. It'll rouse in. This is like ancient Pokemon sleep. This isn't your, like, wake up 50% chance on turn 2. Nah, this is 2 to 5. We are taking A long nap. They could be holding some sort of sweeper with the way they're playing. But Phoenix is really good against that sort of thing. I don't think they have exile removal. Specifically because I don't... Like, if they would have had exile removal, they spend it on this. Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, they're just drawing cards. Movement. I get you. I slept too long! So this comes back on a 5, but it gets the pump. Anywhere, so... We're holding some nice, tempo pieces. And we don't have, like, a lot that's, like, demanding removal. Removal's hard on this, because, like, it's just a bunch of tiny jerks. I want, like, a whale. Whale? Whale? Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Whale. Alright, let's get some more red here. Yo! Yo! Artistic process and the sloth? The thought process being that the sloth is, like, easy to play to here in case they are, like, looking to sweep. Alright, and I do want this land so I can play process and run behind if I draw an untapped land. Don't need to, but it's an if we can. We'll take it. Pigman Wrangle continues. I need to stop in my own combat. Check this out. Are you ready for combat steps? Attackers. We're going to move to attack. We're going to attack after blockers. And then we're at end of combat, where a creature is still an attacking creature. We need to bounce our creature after the attack, but before we leave combat. This is the period of the turn known as shenanigans. Nobody ever stops at end of combat for anything other than shenanigans. Like, that's it. Like, that's the, hold on, I need a ninjutsu. Hold on, I need, like, there's so many things going on at that phase, and none of them are legitimate moves. But yeah, we didn't draw an untapped land, so we couldn't cast that run behind. It's like hearing damage step in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. Anytime anyone says damage step, you know, like... sigh. Like, okay. Jack MCDC. Oh, this looks like a mulligan. We don't have the blue for that stock up. Like, we don't have a... Yeah, this looks like a mulligan. I don't think so. Again, too much red. Okay. You down. Paradox down. Call it good? Yeah, this is a good hand. Like, if I'm gonna ask for 5, all my colors stock up in one of my best creatures, easy. That's exactly what I want out of a 5. Perfect. More lands. We can get to the sloth. So hopefully stock up can find us, like, good maneuvers. The Silo 9. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Stock up, fix us. Save me. Save. Don't negate this. Okay. Don't you dare negate this. I'm gonna explode on the spot. The Sabotender would just explode. Okay. Visionary Dance, grab a thing, pitch a red. Alright, we want... I don't want Splatter Technique here. I'm thinking about that Daze. I'm thinking about Embrace. I'm thinking about Ursine Guide. The Daze feels really powerful next turn, but this turn not. We're gonna Embrace to get out of this position. Like, we fix our like, you know, Proctor's Gaze gets us to 5, this gets us up to a full hand and, like, more lands. Like, that's a lot better. The Daze is really fun, really cool, but, like, right now, I think the ramp plus advantage is where we want and need to be. If I draw a 5th land, I think I'll play the Brood. Oh. Huh. It's not dissimilar to ramp. Hello, Mountain is here. 6/6 is really nice. It's big. This is sizable enough to be hard to kill. You'd have to have, like, heated argument. It also is a land creature, meaning that there's a number of bounce spells that fail. I'm thinking the Banishing Betrayal. Banishing Betrayal is... Actually, is that one a creature? Hold on. There's, okay, heated argument. Cool. That got their treasure? Good for me. We're just gonna go ahead and, take our 3. Moving on. Okay. This is a good position now. Oof. Jadzi. I would like to have a removal spell for Jadzi. That Oracle's Gift is a lot. I can do it for 2 or 3. 3 next turn. Three 3/3s I think we're okay with. I don't want to Proctor's Gaze, because Proctor's Gaze lets them filter that hand more, and I'm very worried about giving an opponent who is discarding these sorts of things more looks, right? Like, they already have a bunch of mana and a bunch of top-end spells. Like, I don't want to give them 2 more looks. I'd rather, you know, spend them where we've got them. Next turn, I can Ursine Guide and Ursine Guide. Like, I can play it and then immediately play the merit. That's good. We're spending kill spells. What are we looking at? Hydro. Whoa, 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 hold on, what hey, oh no. When this creature enters, conjure one of the 5 paradigms. Oh no! Oh no! Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't know which one they got. Okay, so looking at the paradigms, pick up from grave, can't stop that. Target player, its token, we can't stop that. Because, like, if we, on the first cast, we could, like, bounce the creature, but the target player would still be there and the card would resolve. However, if they copy the, oh god, okay. That's a pain. No real way around that, but let's hope it's not copy the paradigm shifter. I think it is, though, right? Yeah, all right. Our opponent is about to teach us a lesson. We are here to learn. We are here. I wonder if that shows all 5. Like the land one that does that. Is that just you get to pick any of them? Like, I know some of the land ones don't show 3, they show 5. I would wager it's just all of them. That rules, and I'm so happy for our opponent to teach us a lesson. We are here. Well... the blue paradigm would not have done anything, but it would still resolve with, because it says target player, right? Yeah, where are you? Target player creates a token that copy a target creature. It wouldn't do anything, but the problem is the spell would resolve as much as it could because it didn't lose all of its targets. So, yeah, we would have stopped them from paradigm shifting, which probably was worth it. Though they would just get to replay the paradigm shifter. It's fine. We're doing fine. You're not wrong. That would have put them a little back. This kicks so much ass, though. Why don't we let our opponent do whatever they want, you know? As a treat. Just a treat. Our opponent can do whatever. For fun. We bottomed, but we did we bottom after that? All right. How do we... How do we kill? How do we do anything here? Okay. Yeah, Splatter's down there with the days and the stock up. I'm sorry, does stock up not put them in a random order? Yeah, any order, okay. All right. Come on, all five. If they could just hit all five, you know? Oh, God. The Phoenix. Yeah, flow state, sure. Yep, they get to draw off the top. And then Lorecaster gets to pick up. Yep. Pick up an instant sorcery. You can pick up, like, flashback. You can pick up flashback to not have to choose later. Alright. Pick up the heated debate. That probably means I'm dead, right? Probably. Then copy the Lorecaster. Lorecaster picks up a Braid. A Braid kills Bear Cub. Rabble Rouser dies to... Yeah, they've got me dead. I love this. That is the biggest Phoenix in the world. Yeah. I am so happy to see this paradigm shifter just go straight to town. This is a game-ending threat on its own because it like, if you play this on 3, if you get to pick from any of the 5, your next turn would just be echo casting. Like, 3 into 4, because this taps for 2 mana. And then echo cast the paradigm shifter, you get a second one. Then... Professor, the professor's here. Anyway, maximum magic after the professor has taught us how to, how to have their capstones. That's such a cool card. Such a ridiculous card. Alright, I'm good with this. This looks great. Shared roots on 2, Ursine on 3, probably removal magnets, but like, that's fine. Let's go get a second red, because we're holding the Wrangler. And then hopefully we just draw a tapped land here? Tapped land, Ursine Guide. Okay. Okay, just a land. That makes me want to play Phoenix instead, actually. Our opponent's gonna be aggressive. Phoenix can block the docent and then, like, get picked back up. Like, this is a super fine trade because of the Embrace. Yeah. Comes in tapped. Take 2. I want to have, like, enough removal magnets that the Ursine Guide gets to live. Scrollsmith targeting the group project? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we get to put down... We're gonna go Sloth Soloist. So they're a little bit priced into group project this turn, which is good. Yeah, see, this gets them a huge board, but like... Shrug? Oh my god, okay. We're just going big. The trick here is that the Ursine Guide is a removal magnet, but they haven't shown having any. And, like, right now, we're in a really, really strong, like, aggressive position. Like, yeah, they can flashback. They don't have double white. They have to tap their entire board to flashback here. Well. Yeah, this is lethal. Yeah. We could have also comma bears repeating, but for the extra damage on the soloist. Yeah, they if they had the white mana, they could have used the docent instead of tapping all their blockers there to get this, and then, like, gain some life and add a little bit more, making us do just the Ranger's merit, but... What a kick-ass set of games! I'm so happy about our opponent getting to, like, triple major. I'm so happy about our deck getting to just slam down so much more damage than I expected. I thought that this deck was going to have a lot more problems cleaning up. Applied Geometry plus the Pigment Wrangler is just normal things you can do. A lot of this is some normal things you can do. Ursine Guide is not. Phoenix is also not. We got to see a better, cool Phoenix there too. And we also got the Yare Yare. The big thing about this deck is that it was just like such heavy hits. And then, of course, you know. Let's go ahead and claim it. Open some packs. A normal Strixhaven pack. Call it a night. This deck is missing something. The something is Momir. I'm glad it was doing as much even without the Momir. Because I was also thinking that. What else? We saw... So, Unbreakable Remnant, I think, is just the most ridiculously powerful piece in here. For Lorehold, the thing about this card is that it's a double trigger. Easy double trigger. Exile 2 other cards. It also is, when it picks up from the grave, it +1/+1's all copies of itself. And it starts as Savannah Lions, you know? Like, aggression in this format is not, like, there aren't a lot of those level of aggressive 1-drops. And so, coming out the gates with this, ooh, Nelly. Howdy. Nah, this makes sense with all the converge pieces. I can see this being real. Phoenix. Thanks, Phoenix. This is one of the coolest recurring Phoenixes. I like the way that it picks up and builds. It has like a prowess style ability, but it also picks up on big. Anina we saw as a must kill. This has a Momir effect and, you know, ramps up X spells. No. Suvril out of our other opponent, incredible piece here. You can't do it on flashback, but you can do it on everything else. They were using the Unbreakable Remnant to like fix it up. Summit Fest feels a little bit more constructed level, but I could absolutely see a couple of Alchemy cards coming together, kind of like the Elemental stuff, to make some super nonsense happen. Because this base is like really expensive Manamorphose. Uh-huh. I like that Force of Will is in here. Geddon. Okay. Yeah. This is a really, really funny overrun to have in here. Because if you fail to kill with it, it's like it did no damage, right? If you triumph for the hordes and go for your overrun kill, like, if you hit for 9, okay, sweet, thanks. I'll take 0, like... But if you do, it comes out of nowhere and like, whoops. Well, that was some excellent Alchemy. I'm really happy with the Knife's Edge games. Even when it's not us that comes out on top, they're still the funnest things to be playing. So, that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you all for joining. If you want to catch more, you can always follow. Soon you're live, 7 Central on weekdays. Subscribe, you cool skulls and slimes. But if you're just here having a good time, A+, love to have you here. Ugly and Medibot, thank you for the subs today. Tomorrow's more Trails. Making our way through the finale chapter in Trails, second chapter. Wednesday will be the start of Rimmeldar in Dragon Quest Builders. Also, that'll be the second chapter. I had a plan on Thursday. What was my plan on Thursday? I'll post about it if I remember my plan for Thursday. I had it and now it's gone. And then Friday will be some more Slay the Spire. So, Slay the Spire 2. Anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you all for joining. Have a good night, everybody.